I'm Bruce Wells. Thanks for joining me as we take a closer look at the organisation called Rotary. Recently I returned to Australia, having lived overseas for a number of years in China and Saudi Arabia. My time overseas made me fully appreciate how much I have to be thankful for, and so I wanted to give something back to my community. I was interested in volunteer work, but I didn't know where to start or who to see, until a friend of mine recommended Rotary because of its multidimensional nature. And Rotary is truly multidimensional, with clubs in over 200 countries around the world. However, the Rotary story starts at the local level. So what are some of the things that Rotary volunteers do? Well, let me whet your appetite with a few examples. Let's start with Rob Henry.
G'day, I'm Rob Henry. Rotary has a number of fellowship organisations, groups around Australia. They cover the wine, motorbike riding, cricket and international travel. I'm a bit different to that. I'm a cyclist. And yes, I wear lycra. Each year there's a number of conferences held by Rotary around Australia, and there's a number of groups that actually ride their bikes to the conference. We've been doing it for 30 years, and in that time we've been raising $30,000 a year for Australian Rotary Health. But this year's our special ride. We're hoping to top the $1 million, and that's going to mean that funding for Australian Rotary Health has been benefiting by that amount. I'd like to introduce someone who can tell you more about what Australian Rotary Health does. Professor Tony John. Over to you, Tone.
Hello, and thank you, Rob. My name's Tony Jorm. I'm a professorial fellow at the University of Melbourne and I work in mental health research. You asked what Australian Rotary Health does. Well, let me begin by telling you about a project that I've been involved in. It's called Mental Health First Aid Training. Australian Rotary Health funded our research on this some years ago, and now mental health first aid training is spread across the world, and this year has been received by over 1 million people worldwide. We're now doing further research on mental health first aid training. We're training young people in high schools in how to support their peers if they develop mental health problems. But that's not all that Australian Rotary Health does. It's one of the leading non-government funders of research in Australia, contributing over $3.7 million this year. Let's look at some of the things they're doing. Australian Rotary Health currently supports 28 PhD projects. It's spread right across Australia. These cover important health problems like what are the causes of motor neurone disease? What are the causes of various types of cancer? How can we reduce risk of HIV and AIDS? And what can we do to improve the health of our Aboriginal Australians? And that reminds me of some other things. Indigenous health. Australian Rotary Health supports Indigenous health scholarships, rural medical scholarships and rural nursing scholarships. All of this is only possible because of the support of Rotarians and people like yourself, Rotarians in Lycra. So Rob, please continue what you're doing. Thank you for what you've done. Australian Rotary Health supports you. It's time to get back on your bike and start raising that $1 million. Thank you.
Thanks, Rob and Tony. There are more than 1,100 Rotary clubs around Australia that interface with their own local community. Your local Rotary Club is just a phone call away, as John Cockle from Riding for the Disabled found out. Let's hear John's story about how he partnered with his local Rotary Club.
Hi, I'm John Cockle. During the week, my job is as an art director or a copywriter, but come the weekend, my wife and I, Linda, we volunteer for Riding for the Disabled. Like most charities, RDA is no different. We need volunteers and they're very important, but just as important is some financial funding. And with that in mind, we approached our local Rotary Club. We hit the jackpot. We shared a trivia night with our friends at Rotary, and we sold tickets and we promoted the night, and to our amazing surprise, we had well over 200 people arrived. It was a great night, fantastic night. The arrangement that we had was that we would share the funding that we generated, but our good friends at Rotary decided to give us their share of the funds, and that allowed us to buy Lucky. Meet Lucky. He's a special horse, and this is Daniel, and he's a special boy. Lucky has certain qualities that we need in a horse, a working horse. He works 6 days a week and has lots and lots of riders. He gives our children and the riders a confidence that it's hard to describe. We're really lucky to have Lucky. Our Rotary Club, I think they have about 1,250 clubs throughout Australia, so you'll probably find one that's near to you. So all I can say is that if you have a project and you need some help and you need possibly the skills that Rotary can give, don't hesitate to give them a call. We did, and we got really lucky.
Thanks, John. Recycling is also very big on Rotary's agenda. Each year, more than $11 million worth of goods are donated to Rotary for recycling, which are then distributed nationally and throughout the Asian Pacific region. Let's meet Mike Machulik from SoapAid, a not-for-profit organisation who had a fantastic recycling idea but couldn't quite get it off the ground until he met Rotary.
Hi, my name's Mike Machulik. I'm the CEO of an organisation that supplies and designs hotel toiletries. About 5 years ago, we founded a charity here in Australia, in Melbourne, called SoapAid. And SoapAid endeavours to collect the waste soaps in the hotel industry. Hotel soaps that look like this, often have been used once or twice or 3 times and left behind when a guest checks out. We endeavour to capture that waste soap to prevent it from ending up in local landfill and returning that waste soap so that we can reprocess it and reproduce a new bar of soap, which we then intend to donate to places and communities around the world that are quite literally dying of not having a bar of soap. So that's a little bit about SoapAid. And the only way that that is possible is by partnering with wonderful organisation like Rotary. What we do at SoapAid is only possible as a result of that partnership. What Rotary are literally doing for us, with us, is helping to collect those hotel bars of soap from the hotel industry throughout Australia. They are then returning those bars of soap with their own local volunteers, and SoapAid will then recycle and reprocess those bars of soap, ship those bars of soap to places like India, and then we re-engage with Rotary at that end to help with the local distribution together with education materials to the communities that really need this soap. So we deal with local Rotarians who understand the local nuances required to pick up this soap at one end of that pathway and deliver that soap at the other end to the people that truly need it. So I would really encourage you to learn more about Rotary, get involved with Rotary, and be part of a wonderful organisation.
Mike, that's brilliant. For younger people in our community, Rotary also runs a wide range of programs, such as leadership programs, speech contests, and youth exchanges overseas. Let's hear from Jo Kwok, who's going to tell us about one of these programs.
Hi, I'm Jo Kwok, and I'm a Rotarian. And yes, there are women in Rotary. I'm really here to talk about one of Rotary's fantastic youth leadership initiatives, the Model United Nations Assembly, or MUNA, as Rotarians like to call it. Welcome to our district's MUNA venue. The term United Nations was first coined by US President Franklin D. Roosevelt, who, would you believe, was a Rotarian. Rotary's close ties with the United Nations date back to 1945, when 49 Rotarians helped draft the UN Charter. The UN helps to build a better world as its founders envisioned 70 years ago. Rotary is recognised for contribution in these areas with a special seat at the UN. In November each year, the UN actually has a Rotary Day. Each year, all around Australia, the 21 Rotary districts hold their very own model United Nations Assembly over a Saturday and a Sunday. This educational simulation is a fantastic opportunity in which students develop their understanding of diplomacy, international relations, and a deeper understanding of the United Nations. High school students from a broad cross-section of schools have the opportunity to have a fun, experiential learning experience which teaches them valuable research, public speaking and debating skills, in addition to critical thinking, teamwork and leadership abilities. Each year in our district, we invite 2 Year 11 students from 42 secondary colleges to each represent a nominated nation in Parliament House. The students dress up in costumes of their nominated country, and over the weekend, a range of subjects are tabled. The students debate them from the standpoint of the country that they're representing. Model United Nations assemblies are held by Rotary all around Australia. 2 students from each assembly are then chosen by their peers to travel to Parliament House in Canberra to attend the National Assembly. This is just one of the many incredible youth-focused activities that are part of Rotary across Australia. Back to you, Bruce.
Thanks, Joe. So there you have it, just a glimpse of what some of the 30,000 Australian volunteers around Australia are doing in Rotary. By now you may be wondering how you can get involved in Rotary. Here are a few suggestions. Would your business have some items that you could donate to Rotary for recycling? Or do you have some goods that you could donate to Rotary which you could use as prizes for fundraising events? Or perhaps you could donate a couple of hours of your own time each week to a community project such as a farmer's market. Finally, you could join Rotary as a member. You could consider taking out a corporate membership, which some clubs offer. Otherwise, you could do what I did and you could become an individual member. Each week I attend a meeting at my local Rotary Club where I'd network, socialise and get involved in community projects that allow me to use my strengths to help others. So you can see that there are many avenues open to you for getting involved in Rotary. Just donating a couple of hours can make such a difference to those that need it. Thanks for your company, and Rotary looks forward to meeting you and having you on board.